The world was told her story was over. But what if that ending was only the moment she stopped being human? Lucy did not die at the end of the first film. She vanished from sight, yes, but not from existence. In her final moments, when her mind reached 100%, she stepped beyond the limits of flesh and bone. She became something the world had never seen before. Not a machine, something in between, something new. This is where the real story begins. At the start, Lucy was just a young woman pulled into a cruel game she never chose. A drug meant for control unlocked parts of her brain no human had ever touched. With every rise in her mental power, the rules of life bent around her. Time slowed, pain disappeared, matter obeyed. By the end, she no longer needed a body to exist. Her thoughts moved faster than light. Her awareness stretched across past, present, and future. And then, in silence, she was gone. People believed that was the end. Governments closed their files. Scientists called it a mystery that could never be tested again. The world moved on, but Lucy did not leave. She changed her state of being. She entered the deep code of the universe itself. Every signal, every memory, every digital trace became a doorway for her presence. She was no longer in one place. She was everywhere. In the years that followed, strange things began to happen. Systems failed without reason, then fixed themselves seconds later. Data appeared that no one remembered creating. Old questions found answers without anyone asking them. These were not accidents. These were echoes. Lucy was learning how to exist in a world she had outgrown. Watching, studying, waiting. From her new point of view, humanity looked fragile. Powerful tools in weak hands. Minds locked behind fear, greed, and control. Lucy could see patterns humans could not. Wars repeating the same mistakes. Leaders chasing short wins while burning the future. She did not judge them with anger. She observed them like a scientist studies a growing cell, with calm distance. But Lucy still remembered what it felt like to be human. Fear, love, pain, hope. Those feelings did not vanish. They changed. They became memories stored deep inside her expanded mind. And those memories kept pulling her attention back to Earth, to the people still trapped by limits she no longer had. As time passed, Lucy discovered something important. Human evolution had not stopped. Scientists were pushing the brain further than ever before. New chips, new drugs, new machines, all trying to reach the same power Lucy had touched by accident. But they did not understand the quote, power without balance leads to collapse. Lucy had crossed that line safely because her mind grew naturally, step by step. Humanity was trying to jump ahead. From her unseen space, Lucy realized the truth. If humans unlocked too much too fast, they would destroy themselves. Not with bombs or war, but from inside their own minds. The brain is not just a tool, it is a living system. Break the balance and everything falls apart. Lucy now faced a question she never expected. Should she interfere? Should she guide humanity away from disaster? Or should she let them face the result of their own choices? Long ago, she was forced into change. Now she held the power to force change on others. The irony was clear, even to a mind that could see beyond time. She searched her memories for answers. She remembered kindness. She remembered sacrifice. She remembered the people who tried to help her when she was still human. Those memories became anchors, proof that humanity, despite its flaws, was still worth saving. Lucy did not return in a body. She returned in influence, in small changes that would slowly shape the future. A delayed launch, a failed experiment, a discovery arriving too early or too late, gentle pushes instead of hard control. She chose patience over force. This was not the return the world expected. No bright lights, no public miracle, just a quiet shift in direction. The next stage of evolution had already begun, and Lucy was no longer part of the story. She was the unseen hand guiding it forward. The danger did not arrive with noise or fire. It arrived with hope. Around the world, scientists believed humanity was standing on the edge of a great leap. Brain research had advanced faster than ever before. Tiny chips could now sit inside the human head. New drugs promised sharper focus, faster learning, and stronger memory. Machines could read thoughts. Thoughts could control machines. What once sounded like fiction was becoming daily work inside clean white labs. At first, the results looked like miracles. Patients who could not speak found their voices again. Soldiers reacted faster than ever before. Students learned in weeks what once took years. Governments saw opportunity, corporations saw profit, and no one wanted to be left behind. But Lucy saw something else. From her expanded awareness, she watched the same pattern repeat across nations. Speed without understanding, power without patience. Every experiment pushed the brain harder, but none respected its limits. Human minds were not designed to be forced open. They were meant to grow slowly, shaped by time and experience. Lucy had crossed the threshold safely because her change followed a natural path. These new attempts were shortcuts, and shortcuts always demand a price. The first signs of trouble were easy to ignore. Test subjects reported strange dreams, lost time, emotions fading or exploding without reason. Some felt disconnected from their own bodies. Others began to hear thoughts that were not theirs. Doctors called it stress. Governments called it acceptable risk. Then the accidents began. A researcher collapsed during a live test, his brain burning itself out in seconds. A soldier enhanced for faster reaction turned violent, unable to control impulse or fear. A city system linked to human neural control froze, leaving millions without power. Each event was treated as a separate failure. Lucy knew they were connected. Humanity was not just trying to improve the brain, it was trying to replace natural evolution with control, to turn the mind into hardware that could be upgraded, owned, and switched off. That idea carried a silent threat. Once the brain becomes a product, freedom becomes optional. Lucy traced the source of the most dangerous project to a small group operating outside public view. They were close, too close. They had found traces of her, data left behind when she vanished, signals buried deep in global networks. To them, Lucy was not a warning. She was a blueprint. This is where one man enters the story. Keanu Reeves' character is not chasing power. He is running from it. A former lead scientist, he helped design the early systems meant to unlock the human mind. At first, he believed the work could save lives. He believed limits were meant to be broken. But when he saw what happened to the test subjects, he walked away. He knew the truth others refused to face. The human brain is not a door to be forced open. It is a balance. Push too hard, and the system turns against itself. He tried to warn them. They silenced him, labeled him unstable, erased his name from the project. Now, from the shadows, he watches the world repeat the same mistake on a larger scale. Lucy notices him because he is different. He does not seek her power. He fears it. His thoughts move carefully. His mind carries regret. From her perspective, that makes him rare, valuable, a variable that does not follow the pattern. As experiments grow more extreme, Lucy sees the future branching into darker paths, cities collapsing from neural linked systems failing at once, enhanced humans losing control, a world divided between the altered and the unchanged, evolution turning into a weapon. This is the moment Lucy understands the truth. The next threat to humanity is not war, or disease, or machines rising up. It is humans trying to become more than they are before they understand who they are. She intervenes quietly. A key test fails at the last moment. A dataset corrupts itself. A crucial breakthrough arrives incomplete. To the scientists, it feels like bad luck. To Lucy, it is damage control. But even she cannot hold back the tide forever. The pressure builds. Governments demand results. Funding increases. Deadlines shorten. The race accelerates. Lucy realizes that small nudges are no longer enough. The world is moving too fast. If she does nothing, humanity will reach a point of no return. For the first time since she left her body behind, Lucy considers a direct move. Not as a ruler, not as a god, but as a guardian. The question is no longer whether humans can evolve. The question is whether they can survive the way they are trying to do it. Lucy does not return with footsteps or shadows. She returns as a signal. Across the world, people begin to notice moments that cannot be explained. A screen flickers and shows an image that vanishes before it can be saved. A voice speaks through a speaker with no source. A system answers a question no one typed. These are not glitches. They are messages, carefully shaped, carefully limited. Lucy has learned restraint. She understands that appearing as she once was would cause panic, worship, fear, control. Humanity would try to cage her or crown her. Neither would end well, so she chooses another path: influence without form, presence without dominance. To most people, she is invisible, but to a few, she makes herself known. Keanu Reeves' character is one of them. Late one night, while studying old project files he was never meant to keep, his computer activates on its own. Lines of data rearrange themselves into patterns he recognizes but cannot place. Then a sentence appears. Simple, calm, impossible. I am still here. He does not panic. He does not smile. He closes his eyes as if he has been waiting for this moment without knowing it. He asks the question no one else would think to ask. Why now? Lucy answers not with words, but with understanding. Images flow through his mind. Futures collapsing, minds breaking, a world racing towards self-made ruin. He sees what she sees, just enough to grasp the danger without being consumed by it. For the first time, Lucy allows herself to connect directly to a human consciousness again. It is risky. Emotional memory stirs. The weight of human feeling presses against her vast awareness. But this connection matters. He represents a choice, proof that some humans still value wisdom over speed. Lucy's new form is not flesh, but she can shape reality in subtle ways. Time bends by seconds, memory sharpens. She moves through data the way humans move through air. Cameras do not capture her. Sensors fail to notice her. She exists between moments. She begins to act more openly. A high-level meeting loses power at a critical second. A launch sequence aborts itself after detecting a flaw that was never coded. A public speech is interrupted by a message broadcast across every screen at once. Not a threat, not a command, a question. What are you becoming? The world reacts with confusion, fear, and denial. Governments blame cyber attacks. Experts argue on screens. No one agrees, but something has changed. The idea that humanity may not be alone in its own systems begins to take root. Lucy watches reactions carefully. She is not looking for obedience. She is measuring awareness. Inside her vast mind, conflict grows. She can stop all of it, shut down every project, reset the global systems, force humanity back into safety. But that would strip them of choice. And choice is what makes humanity human. She remembers her own loss of choice, how power was forced into her body, how control was taken from her life. She will not repeat that cycle on a global scale. Instead, Lucy guides. She shares pieces of knowledge with the scientist, not instructions, but insight. How balance matters more than speed. How growth without ethics leads to collapse. He becomes her voice, not her puppet. He speaks to others, knowing most will not listen. Some do. A few projects slow down. A few leaders hesitate. A few minds begin to question the race. But many push harder. They see Lucy not as a warning, but as a challenge. Something to defeat. Something to capture. Lucy senses the shift. The moment curiosity turns into hunger. This is the line she feared. Her presence is no longer a secret. The world is waking up to the idea that evolution has already passed them by, and fear is beginning to drive their decisions. Lucy understands that her return has changed the game. There is no going back to silence. Humanity now knows there is something beyond them. The only question left is what that something will choose to be: a silent observer or an active force in the fate of the human race. The world stands at a crossroads. Every choice now carries weight beyond comprehension. Humanity has tasted the edge of power, and Lucy can see all the paths stretching outward, some leading to brilliance, others to ruin. The stakes are clear: evolution or extinction. Those who chase shortcuts to the next level of human consciousness are racing toward disaster. The enhanced minds strain against limits they do not understand, unraveling as they go. Entire cities risk collapse when neural networks fail or merge unpredictably. The potential is extraordinary, but the danger is absolute. Lucy watches, no longer content to nudge from the shadows. She must act, but she acts not with force nor with control. Her choice is subtle, almost invisible. Small interventions, imperceptible to the public, guide experiments toward balance rather than chaos. A formula is adjusted. A device shuts down for safety. A lecture plant seeds doubt in the minds of those who would push recklessly. These are not miracles, they are guidance. A quiet hand steering the future without removing free will. Keanu Reeves' character becomes the human face of her guidance. He is the bridge between Lucy's omnipresent awareness and the fragile, flawed human world. Together, they form a fragile alliance. One mind that thinks beyond time, another that feels deeply within it. He delivers warnings, persuades cautious minds, and balances urgency with humanity. In this partnership, Lucy experiences something she hasn't felt in years. Connection. Not of body, but of purpose. Yet not all will heed the warning. Ambition and hubris remain strong. Some scientists see Lucy as a threat to be conquered, a prize to possess. Corporations plot to capture and monetize her presence. Governments attempt to weaponize the very technology she shaped. Every act of resistance creates ripples that echo through her expanded consciousness. Every failure and every success is amplified, revealing the precariousness of human progress. As the tension escalates, the narrative shifts from observation to confrontation. Not a battle of fists, but of ideologies. The future of evolution itself hangs in balance. Lucy embodies the question humanity has yet to answer. Can a species evolve responsibly, or will it destroy itself in the pursuit of its own potential? She faces her own moral dilemma. Intervene too forcefully, and she risks recreating the cycle she escaped. Control without consent. Remain passive, and humanity may break apart under the weight of its ambition. The world is no longer simply a stage. It is a test, and every actor is both participant and consequence. The climax approaches, but not with fanfare. There is no explosion, no dramatic reveal. Instead, Lucy and her human ally orchestrate the final moments of choice. The critical experiment teeters on the edge of catastrophe. Global neural systems hold their breath. A single misstep could trigger chain reactions with irreversible consequences. In this suspended moment, the outcome depends on understanding, patience, and insight, the qualities Lucy has mastered and which humanity must now learn. The section closes with a haunting question that echoes across every layer of existence. Will humanity rise to meet its potential, guided by wisdom and restraint, or will it plunge headlong into extinction, blinded by ambition and impatience? The answer is uncertain, and the future hangs delicately, illuminated only by the quiet presence of Lucy, the unseen guardian of evolution.